episode of Rebuilding Portsmouth now. Before we get into today's episode, I just wanted to thank everyone that took the time to watch the 100th episode yesterday. So massive thank you for that. Now, a couple of things I want to get into before we start today's episode, because you know I like a bit of admin. First thing is I went on to FM Central, the Facebook group, and the websites. They have a weekly football show, and I went on last week on Thursday as a guest, and it was really good fun. And I'm really just urge you guys to, if you don't already, check out firstly their website, but also their YouTube channel, because they've got some interesting series going on there. So I would advise you to check that out. I also wanted to apologise for my language in the last episode, not obviously throughout, because you know what you're gonna get by now with me. I do swear from time to time, but in the last episode, particularly in the Leicester City game, I lost it a little bit, and the reason for that is not because it annoyed me any more than usual, but usually I don't do those games on a live comm in a row. So I've usually, by the time I've got to the point where I'm that angry, I take a break and I can just relax for a bit, and then I come back and do the live comm for you guys. And even if I get angry, I never get that angry because it's not built up for over the month. So I'd like to apologise for that. I'm sure most of you don't really care, but just in case you were offended by my language during that live comm, then yeah. So there's that. The other thing, there's quite a few things here, is I had a comment a couple of days ago, from when you're seeing this now. Basically, I can't always reply to comments because sometimes Google doesn't let me. Sometimes there is just no reply button. And someone posted a comment about, I can't remember, sorry, mate, I can't remember, I think it was Frosty something. I apologise. It's going to come up on the screen, but it should be on the screen right about now, over the top of this, but I can't see it in my screen, obviously, because it's going to be overlaid later. But I do apologise that I couldn't respond to your comment. It will not let me. But at the same time, people, if I don't reply to your comment, just assume that it is that, basically. 9 times out of 10 it is because of that kind of thing. So don't then get angry at me because I didn't do it. I can't do anything about it. It's very irritating that I can't. I don't know why, but it's because of your Google Plus settings, not mine. So there we go. By the way, I wasn't singling you out, it's just you're the most recent person that's had that problem with me not being able to comment back. So there you go, that's the reason. And I haven't been ignoring it, it's just that I haven't had time to go through and sort out the head packs for the shoulders and stuff yet. I will do it when I get a chance, but I haven't had a chance to just yet. Okay, so as you know, of course, we're in the Europa League this year, which is a bit of a pain, and it did, of course, cause some problems in the squad, which I've not experienced before, and it wasn't particularly pleasant. People wanting to leave, you know how it is. Although, to be fair to them, there was literally only Borja Gomez and Santos, the only 2 players that came and said they wanted to leave. They haven't left. Santos very, very quickly changed his mind. In fact, I didn't even do anything. I just said basically no. And he was like, all right. Oh, and Lucas Vega decided. He really did put up a fight. He wanted to join Lazio, which was strange because they're not in the Champions League either, even though he said that was his reason for wanting to leave, which was really odd. So, yeah. He is now set to stay as well. In fact, they've all stayed. Stoke are splashing their money about again. They tried to sign Borja Gomez off of us for 26 million, which I turned down because he's worth more. Well, he's worth 23 million, so I should be able to get a lot more. And I have given him a new contract. He is now our most highly paid player. The reason I did this is because he was actually going to end up getting a clause in his contract triggered that I didn't expect, and that's because he had a clause in it that said he'd get 100 grand a week if he got 5 games for Spain. And I didn't think he would do because he hadn't at the time he signed for us. However, he was about to. So I got him a new contract and offered him 80. And so we've saved ourselves 20 grand a week on that one. So I think that's a decent piece of business. So a couple of episodes ago, I was talking about signing Andre Bjork back from Chelsea. Now, I did go in, I put in an offer, £56 million. I'm flabbergasted by it. He's not played for them in 2 seasons. They want him off their wage book because he's on about 50 grand a week. Why on earth would I managed to negotiate them down to 51 million? I mean, what's the point? It's stupid. So there's that. That's my first little rant. But the most irritating thing of the lot is the fact that this is what's happened. Basically, we got given a transfer budget of 22 million with a wage budget of 90,000, I think that's what it was. And obviously I've had to move some players in and out, so players have left, and more than usual this summer, because I just wanted to clear out some of the dead weight. However, some players refused to leave, which has really annoyed me. I've had some serious problems because obviously we're not in the Champions League this year, so we've got a little bit less of a draw for players, and we're still Portsmouth, and the game still considers us to be Portsmouth because we are, of course, but it still thinks of us like a championship side, so we're still struggling to sign players, just as we did last season. We couldn't sign anyone from English sides, basically, last season. And this season, I tried to get a guy called Jordan Kinsella, who was on loan at Crewe from Southampton. He's valued at 6 million, I think. They wanted 52 million pounds for him. I negotiated them down to 42, but again, it's ludicrous. you can't sign English players, basically. We can't sign English players anymore because they're just so expensive and it's useless to even attempt it. I'd much rather bring in a foreign player. And that's probably why in Premier League sides are signing so many foreign players. That is actually, I'm noticing it now, just how difficult it has been. I'd also like to point out, this episode is probably going to be quite a long one because obviously once I've gone through this stuff, people wanted to see certain teams, and I'm going to do a section on that, but it's going to be the only time I do this because I've realised that it's going to take up way too much time. So I'll tell you when you can skip that if you're not interested in it. So yeah, but basically, that was all well and good. So they offered us this money, and I thought, okay, well, that should be enough. And our sort of prediction for the league this season is I think the league always underestimates you a little bit. So we're predicted to come 8th, but I think for me, we're good enough to come sort of top 4 again. But when it came around to choosing my season expectations from the board, I got 2 choices, and this is what's really fucked me off. My 2 choices were title winner and title challenge. What? We have still got, I think, probably the second lowest wage bill in the Premier League, and why the hell would we be able to challenge for the title on that? It's ridiculous. But it means now that I had to choose title challenge because that was the weakest one, and besides, for title winner they were offering us like another $1 million. What's the point? The problem then is now that if I don't win the title or come second or something, we're probably going to get the fucking sack. Genuinely. We're also expected to reach the semi-finals of the FA Cup. So I don't know what's changed. Nothing's changed. They've not offered us any new money. We're still on the same, like, we've gone up by the same increments we did last season, but now the fact that they expect us to win the league, despite the fact our wage bill is still in the relegation zone, it's stupid, and that's something that really does need to be fixed in this game, because I have a sneaky suspicion that we might end up getting the sack at the end of this season because we'll be underperforming, and that would really annoy me, because when you're 10 seasons into a game, we're still Portsmouth. Like, one good season does not entitle them to suddenly expect that we'll do that every year. Especially not with the fact they're not going to give us the money to do that every year. It's ridiculous. I can't show you the wage bills because for some reason they won't appear until after we've done our first game. So I'll try and show you after the Chelsea game. So that's the most irritating thing of the lot. We do have some transfers to talk about, but I'm going to do that in a second. Right, so if you aren't interested in what other clubs are doing, skip ahead a couple of minutes and you'll get back to me talking about normal stuff. This is the only time I'm ever going to do this because there's too many people suggesting stuff, and I can't do this in every episode because it would just take up the entire episode. So I'm going to do this as quickly as I can. So Preston North End is the first thing I want to say. I'm not going to stay on them for any more than a couple of seconds. If you're interested in it, please pause it here because I literally can't do too long, and I can't show you the first team squads on every single one of these teams, guys, because there's so many. So there you go. That's Preston. This is Shrewsbury Town, doing okay in League One. Sheffield United. I might cut out some of the stuff in between me finding these, but it might not be worth my doing, basically. So here we go. Sheffield United obviously had some Premier League days as well. Wednesday, obviously not done quite as well over that period. In fact, dropped down into League One at one point, which was pretty damn poor from their point of view. Ajax, I don't know how if that is the right one. Yeah, it is. Okay, so there you go. Ajax. Well, they actually came 10th last season. That is a bit of a surprise. I'm quite curious about that. Wrexham. So sorry if your suggestion isn't in here. I could only do a certain amount, but I've gone through all the ones that I had so far. There you go. There's Wrexham. So if you are interested, please pause it on your team when they come up. But this is the only time I'm going to do... Oh, I hate the way it does that. It's the only time I'm going to do this, just because it takes too long. Bradford obviously had a run in the Championship, because if you remember, they were in the Championship when we were in the Championship. Legia Warsaw. I don't know how much information... No, we got no information on them. Sorry, guys. Bristol City. So again, if you're not interested, just skip a couple of minutes ahead and we'll get to that point anyway. Manuel Neuer, someone also wanted to see, which was an interesting one. Manuel Neuer. I think he's probably a coach by now. No, he's still the goalkeeper at Bayern Munich. He's 37 years old, but still keeping goal for Bayern Munich. Southend United. There isn't too many more, guys. Don't worry. There you have it. Southend mostly a League One side through the entirety of this. Swindon. You might notice my voice sounds a little interesting or off to the side. It's because I've had to move the microphone to put the keyboard here so I can type in the stuff. There's Swindon Town. Right, a couple more. Reading. I just don't want to get the wrong ones. There you go. Reading. They obviously had some Premier League stuff in there as well. Benfica. Oh my life. I'm sorry, but I don't know which one of these it is. No, sorry. Oh, hang on, wait. Is it? Oh, balls. I know which one it is now. It's SN. Apologies. Oh, for the love of Jesus. This search bar is a great idea, but it doesn't really work very well sometimes. There you go, there's Benfica, obviously pretty much winning it every year. And the last one is Yeovil. So there we go, Yeovil Town. I wonder what they have done, actually. So there you go, they've pretty much been in League One, although they have just been relegated last season to League Two. Right, so there we go. Let's get back. Hopefully, you go, right, okay, we're back. Welcome back to anyone who skipped as well. So I hope that was okay for you guys. It's just I couldn't put them all in, and I won't be able to do that again because otherwise it will just take so much out of episodes now, and it's just me looking through a database for you. And like I've done those ones, and I hope that's good. Sorry if I didn't put yours in there. I did look through all the comments before I did that, so hopefully I've got all the ones that I got before those comments stopped coming in, basically. So let's get into what's actually been going on this month, apart from what I've just explained. So we have made some signings. That much has happened. Some players have left, some players have come in, and so on and so forth. So what has happened is thus. There should be another one on there too. I don't know why he's not showing up. Right, so basically we've brought in a few players, and I really say this because we only have managed to bring in a few. Why is he not showing up? Tercio. Oh, he's not joining us from next year. What the fuck? Oh, that's a bit shit. I thought that was this year. Okay, well I'll show you him in a sec anyway. Because he has signed for us. I thought that was this year. That's worrying. Anyway, so players that have gone out first. As you knew, Charlie Taylor was going to go. Thomas Assenhuis, he wasn't really getting that far for us, and I managed to get £6 million for him from QPR. Jack Watmore has also left to go to Hull. You'll find that these aren't actually the full. Like, there's about another million on each of these, basically. Watmore's actually gone for closer to 5, I think. Assenhuis for 6, Watmore for 3.1, let's just say here. Obviously, a load of players have left on free transfers. That got them off the wage bill, and obviously quite a few guys have gone out on loan. That's kind of important. That raked in some money for us, but it's not been enough because, of course, wage rises and all that kind of stuff, and some of the signing fees on these guys was absurd. Now, I have gone after some other players, but the curse of being Portsmouth again has caught us. There is one guy in particular who is a left-back that I was massively interested in. He's like 5 stars. And we had agreed a transfer with his club for 12 million. It was going to be our record signing, but it was going to be worth it. Benastia, I think his name is. I don't think we've still got it. And the problem was, and as is going to be the problem a lot of the time, is he just wouldn't even consider talking to us. I tried to do you could be an icon here, but he was a little bit too old for that to be I find with youngsters, you can use that on them, and they'll go, oh, okay. That's what I've done with a couple of these guys, but with him, it just wasn't possible. So the players I've signed are as follows. We've got this guy, and this is our left back, sort of our new left back. He's younger than some of them, but he's got a little bit of potential. This is Pierre Peters. He is Belgian. He is fairly decent. He obviously can play as a wing back too, but for me, he's got full back potential. Without any shadow of a doubt there. I think his first touch is a little bit poor in his crossing, but I don't know. I think he's okay. We really have struggled to bring in anyone because half the players I want won't sign for us now, and that's a real problem. And the fact that we're expected to win the title this year is absurd, and I really am worried about that. The other guy we brought in, this is Gerald. He has a cool name. I'll give him that. This is Gerald van Oos. He's the one I'm really impressed. He's the one I'm really excited about. Basically, he for me is going to be our sort of. He's going to step into that fold when Griffiths and Musonda are, once they cross over, this is the man for that job. Gerald van Os. Signed him. He's probably my favourite signing of the ones we've got. Yes, I know he's young, but the thing is we couldn't start going, like last season, we could go in and get like 22, 23-year-olds. This season, nope. They wouldn't even talk to us, which is sucks really, doesn't it? I mean, that's the problem. So I hope I haven't pissed too many people off with these signings. It's just I have no choice with this. I had to sign players, and we do still have a little bit of money left, but there's a limit to what I can spend. We have got ourselves a third choice striker though, and this is Marcio, another Brazilian, because that's the only I couldn't seem to sign players from Europe half the time as well. Brazilians just seem to be cheaper. He's got a lot of potential. His current ability isn't too bad either, and it means that he's decent enough to fill in. I mean, look at some of his stats up here: heading 17, dribbling 17, finishing 16, first touch 17, crossing 16, passing, and he's a very, very good complete forward. And that is why his jumping reach is a little bit poor, but I think he's going to be a really decent player for us. So he, Burrell and Millington up front will be very, very useful. Millington seems to be very loyal. He's not even complained once about the way things are going. So yeah, that's Marcio. We got him on quite a decent deal, I have to say. 5.5 million. Right, so let's do this. I'm not sure. Right, what else do we need to cover? So yeah, we're back in the league basically. We've got Chelsea and Spurs to start off the season. It's not going to be a fun one. We do have Europa League group stages. We have gone straight into the group, so that is a good thing. It's just, I don't know. I'm worried about how we're going to do in the league this year. I genuinely am. You'll see that Liverpool, of course, are back. I'm trying to think who else came up. Brighton, of course, came up. No, I don't know who came up with them. I'm trying to see here. Sunderland. So that is how that is. We're just going to try and get into today's game. We've got quite a few injuries to start with, as you can see. Burrell and Musonda got injured in the week leading up to this Chelsea game, which has pissed me off. So yeah, we've got everything set up. We've done the usual training thing that generally works, but it hasn't really worked so well this year. We've actually got quite a few injuries. Chelsea are playing with a 5. I'm tempted to go with our 2 striker system with that and put Marcio in up top with King Norman, I should say. So that's what I'm probably going to do here, actually. It's the first game of the season. As you can see, Musonda and Burrell both out. Yanko also out. So let's just see what this picks for us. So actually, Marcio and Van Oos are looking like their first games for the club. Now, I did also try to sign a guy called Archubia, who was a right-sided midfielder, to play in here, ahead of in front of Wallace. As to be the better player, basically, to be the first choice right-sided midfielder. Unfortunately, for some reason... Oh, I'll tell you what it was. Basically, I'd agreed to transfer of £12 million for it. There's another £12 million one. But the problem was, he was going to be on like 90 grand a week because he's a seriously good player. He was the only one of the big players that I could actually get to talk to us, and we had to entice him into that as well. But he was genuinely awesome. He would have been like Santos level good, but on the right-hand side. So with one of those on either wing, we'd have been really rocking. The problem was that I had only got like £12 million available, and I didn't have quite that amount in wage budget, which meant that we couldn't do the transfer, so we had to delay it. So what I did was I put Saidi Yanko and Kenneth Wallace, who were already transfer listed, I offered them to clubs, and I got offers of 4 million for McAvoy, which was brilliant, and 5.2 million for Saidi Yanko. Now, you might be wondering why they're still here. Well, I'll tell you why they're still here, because those dickheads declined the offers from those clubs and refused to leave. So now because we'd have got 10 million in total for those two, which of course we'd then used to get Archubia, and they're never going to play for us anyway. So yeah, that's the real screw up there. Or not screw up, because there's nothing we could do about it, but they refused to leave, basically. They rejected the contract offers and are still here, sucking up wages, and more importantly, costing me 10 million quid, which is a pain. A massive pain. You notice that Kieran Griffiths is still here. He is transfer listed, but nobody's even put a bid in for him. I think most likely at this rate he's going to end up leaving on a free next summer, which is a shame. One good thing that could come out of Charlie Musonda being injured for this is it gives a chance for Gerald Van Oos to really get his career going, and with Marcio getting a start for us as well, you never know, maybe the new guys could cause some upsets, I suppose, but I'm not really sure myself. I've kept Ola Aftret from going out on loan this year because we may well need him. Lucarelli is also going to be hugely important. Jefferson Rios, I don't know if I think he is actually available this year. Let me just check. Yeah, no, Jefferson Rios can play for us again this year, which is good. So it's not the worst thing in the world, but I don't know, I'm still not exactly overly confident about the way things are at the moment. So hopefully we can come up with a massive win. I'm going with this system away at Chelsea because we've beaten Chelsea in the Cup with this one before, and they played that exact same style. Doesn't mean, though, that it's going to work long term. The system is still not fully there yet, and it's taken a long, long time. But it should, in theory, be better. I'm really hoping that Marcio and Van Oos have a good... I don't know, how do you... If you're Dutch, could you let me know, is it Van Oos or is it Van Osh? Or Van Osh? Like, I would like to pronounce it correctly, because it is a very odd name, I must say. So, yeah, here we go. Do you know we actually got offered Gundogan by his agent? He's at Man United and he's on £150,000 a week. Oh, apparently we could get him for 600k. Yeah, and then the wages. So, I don't know. I'm really worried about the way this season's going to go. After the way things have been going lately, I'm scared that we might get sacked, and that would be just fucking horrible because we've been so good in this save, and then to just lose it over something so stupid as the board having stupid expectations of us. Like, I don't personally think it's fair that we have one of the lowest wage bills in this league, and yet they expect us to be challenging for the title. Even on a good season, this squad is probably big enough to get third place. But City and United are miles ahead of everyone else, except for maybe Stoke, who've been splashing the cash. I think they've spent another 60 million quid or something. We'll have a look at their net transfer spend in a second. So here we go. Let me just make sure I've got it on key. Yep, we do. I'd like to see if we can come up with a big result here away at Stamford Bridge. But what is really more likely to happen is a continuation of the stuff that happened at the back end of last season. We play really well to start with, and then, actually, no, we're not playing really well to start with at all here. Chelsea have started really strongly, which is, I guess, at least if we lose, I won't feel quite so bad. But our system does work well against teams that play this particular style. It's just well tackled. Oh, Chelsea look good to start with, I have to say. They're having a good old start, but at least at the moment, we've not conceded. We've not hit the target yet, though, and my God, Dave still plays for Chelsea. Well done. Half an hour gone. We're not getting a lot of possession. I might have to switch things up at half time, but I'm not entirely sure how, because that would require making a shitload of substitutions, and that is a little bit worrying. But we've got to half time at 0-0, so there is that as a sort of a positive light here. But the problem is, if we were to switch things up with this system, we'd switch it to our sort of... What would we switch it to? That's the problem. What would we switch it to? We'd have to bring on fullbacks. I mean, we do have Marcelo. We don't have Charlie Taylor. I didn't put Peters on the bench because he's injured. We can't really do that now. We're going to have to sort of stick with this system and maybe try and change things within it rather than actually changing the overall... Oh, Carlos Fernandez, he looks new, which means he's almost certainly going to be... Guichard, I think I went after him in the summer, or did I? But you can see why he'd have joined Chelsea. Well, then mark him. Well done, Lopez Sousa. Now, don't screw this pass up. Never mind. Like, there's so many good passes on, and he plays that one. It just... Mbele, that guy is a monster. Oh, what a save from Lucas Vega. Well done, son. We're doing okay, but we've really done nothing in this game, and that's worrying. I'm trying to think what the best option is now. Chelsea with the corner. Gerhardt, well cleared off the line by Jed Wallace. Still kicking. Guichard, and blocked again. We are backs against the wall. Right, what can I do here to make this work a little bit more? We're going to close down a little bit more. I don't know. I really don't know. We're not getting a lot of possession. Let's go counter and close down a little bit more. Try and hassle them a little bit, but at the same time, well done again by Robert Gray. I must say that our centre-backs are coming along. Oh my god, what is these outlets? We've got two strikers. They just refuse to play the ball to them. It's really weird. Like, at least play it in their general direction. If nothing else, just vaguely near them would be lovely. But then again, still 0-0 at the moment. We've been awful, but maybe we're actually going to get a bit of luck that we don't normally get in these sort of games. You know how it always is against Chelsea. Usually it's the other way round. We've had those shots, they've had those, and then they win. So you never know. Maybe... Why did he run away with it? Maybe we'll get the luck this time round. Guichard, and once again, Vega has been fucking fantastic today, I must say. Right, first substitution is time. Who do we bring on, though? That is the question. We are really lacking a bit. I'll tell you what. Borja Gomez is looking a little bit knackered. I know that Ivancic is also looking a little bit knackered, but he's less knackered than Borja Gomez. And he's quite a solid player, so maybe he'll give us a little bit more of a... oh, God. Gerhardt puts it in for Chelsea. I mean, it's been coming. It really has. But we've not been good at all today with this tactic. And, you know, you can understand why I played it, though, because generally this tactic works very well against teams that play like when we played Chelsea last season. We beat them 3-0, I think, in the Cup playing this tactic, and it was a full-strength team. Well done, man on the line. It was a great attempt at blocking that, I must say. Well done. Let's just see. I don't really know what to do. I mean, we're a goal down now, so we may as well just go attacking and try to... Oh, I don't know. Push higher up, maybe? Just try and force them back a little? I really don't know what to suggest. I can only see us conceding in this game, rather than Murillo. The amount of players we've got in there. Well blocked, and again, they just get to the ball before you do. Azpilicueta, they're just better players, to be honest. Oh, Shrevers, and again, Vega's been great. I have to say, for one thing, he has been my standout player for us in this game. Everyone else has been really, really poor. Seabish... What? What? What's happened there? Wait, oh, did we just score? Santos has just scored. What the hell happened? I don't know how that's happened, but we have done it. It is Chelsea 1, Portsmouth 1. Was it a free kick? Oh, it was. I'll take it, though. Santos... Well, maybe we're going to get ourselves a... Well, that is terrible goalkeeping. That is right down the middle. Maybe we're actually going to get ourselves a bit of luck for once. Let's maybe go back to control? Or is it wise? Maybe we should just continue pushing up against them and see if we can nick something. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Please don't say I've just screwed the pooch again. Win that... Oh, God. There's a huge, huge gap. Cover, 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 cover. Oh, my goodness. Oh, well done. How did he... I don't know how he saved that. That looked a bit suspect, I have to say. But I think we might actually be about to get away with a 1-1 draw at Stamford Bridge. And could this be the return of our luck from the previous seasons? And why did no Chelsea players come out to try and stop him there? That was really weird. Maybe we're actually going to get the luck this year. We're bloody going to need it. But an away draw at Stamford Bridge on the opening day, maybe it shows that we actually have got the potential to really challenge this season. But I don't think this is a sign, because we've not played that well. But then maybe... on this game, it seems that no matter how well you play, it's irrelevant. It's, if anything, you play worse, you seem to win more. Right, get to that ball, kick it forward. Oh, please. Right, let's see if I can do that. Hazard. Oh, thank God it's gone wide. I think, guys, we've just done it. I think, I'm not going to speak too soon here, but I think against all the odds here, we might have actually nicked a draw at Chelsea. Which is good, really. It's a great start to a campaign, really. I couldn't have asked for about, well, apart from a win. Oh, that is a woeful pass. I see what you mean about Wallace now, guys. He can do some things right, but some of his passing at times can be a bit awry, to say the least. I think with 7 seconds, though, we're probably good for the point here. Oh, don't let them score now. That should do it. That should do it. Please be doing it. That should do it. Why are we still playing? Or is it going to go when he throws it in? Okay, cool. Well headed away by Peralta, and that should do it. There we go. Chelsea 1, Portsmouth 1. That is not a bad start to the season, really. In a game we really did not deserve anything from. Santos has been our absolute hero there. In fact, as much as Santos was great, Peralta, wow, 8.7. For me, man of the match, my personal man of the match is Lucas Vega. Some of the saves he made in that game were unbelievable. So we've got away with it a little bit there. But it's the luck that we need, and maybe a home victory over Spurs. That'd be a pretty good start. Beating Spurs and drawing against Chelsea would be ideal. We do, of course, have Europa League now to contend with, so it could get a little bit dicey still. I'll tell you what, let's just quickly do a continue here so you can see what the other games' results were, at least on this day, anyway. Or maybe just like the lunchtime kickoffs, the afternoon kickoff games, because you don't want to wait for too long. It might just take a little bit longer now because of course we've got a lot more leagues added, so even on this computer. So there you go. Brighton beat Stoke. Moneybag Stoke there. Burnley win. Hull lose. Hull have done a lot of spending too. City draw against newly promoted Sunderland as well, so all kinds of weird results on the opening day. Now let's just take a little look at the stats now. There should be some. So there you go. We have 18th. We're spending £43 million per annum on wages. So we have the third lowest wage bill in this entire league, and we're expected to be challenging with teams that are spending literally 4 or 5 times the money. I don't understand how that's even feasible. It's ridiculous to even suggest that is possible. Net transfer spend, Stoke there have spent 26 million net, and I know they've been selling players too, because Pjanic, I think his name is, has left for like 30 million. So Stoke have spent an absolute buttload. And Brighton have also spent quite a lot of money too, I have to say there. So there you go, guys. In our next episode, I don't know quite what we're going to do. I might do... What have we got in August? Not a lot left in August. In fact, no more games left in August at all. So what I might do is possibly this game. The second... Oh, that's Capital One Cup, isn't it? Actually, maybe do this one. The first game of October, which is going to be Europa League. Yeah, maybe we'll do that one for our next episode. Quite a few games in between, but there's going to be quite a few games this season because of the Europa League. So we shall see. So guys, if you like what you've seen, please drop a like on the video. And if you'd like to even more than that, please subscribe to my channel for more Portsmouth and Red Star Belgrade in your inbox every single day at 5:30 and 8 o'clock. And I will see you guys in the next episode for the game against an unknown team in the Europa League. Bye-bye.